Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Babe live chat for September. Today, you've only got me and Camie because our lovely Lana is sick, and so we'd like to do a shout out to Lana at home, and we hope you're feeling better really, really soon. This month, we are super lucky to have the lovely Grace McGinty with us, and we will be talking all things Manix and Frenzy because I am super excited to have her here this month because this book has blown my mind. So good,
In a good way, I hope.
good evening. Oh,
Yeah.
completely. It was funny actually before it came out, as because it was building all of this traction online. I must admit, I hadn't heard of you before Manix had sort of hit.
I did. I
Oh,
loved it from 8 seconds to fly, honestly.
oh, thank you.
So yeah. And
It's my
yeah,
favorite
and
8 seconds.
yes.
So I hadn't heard of you, and then I start hearing about this thing called Mpreg, and I'm talking to Camie, and I'm like,
We
what is
Googled
this?
it.
And we're both like, no, it couldn't be. And Cammie's like, I'm gonna Google it. And I'm like, yeah, you go Google it. And she comes back to me and she's like, it so is. And so
It is, yep.
it was on our list, and when your name was pulled, we were so excited to read this book to the point that I actually read it before September. And
Oh,
the last book chat I got on the live, I told everyone, oh my gosh, you've got to read this because it blew my mind. I never read anything like this book before. It totally pushed my boundaries in
yeah.
terms of what I was reading. And it did it in a way that the book actually had, there's a driving plot in the book as well. It's not just all smart. It's
No, no, no.
actually got
Right.
a
It's a
plot
whole new
too.
world.
So yeah, I absolutely loved it. So I guess our first question for the night is, what made you make the move to reverse harem Omegaverse? Because it is a bit of a jump from your other books.
It is a little bit. I think I've been working up to it for a little bit. When I wrote Rebels and Runaways, which is like a spin-off of my main books, I'm a crazy one for like Easter eggs in other books. And I started adding the idea of alpha and omega and beta structures. Um, I made the leap from that to straight Omegaverse, and especially with the Mpreg element. One, because it'd never been done, and I kind of like pushing the boundaries just a little bit, just get everyone out of their comfort zone. But honestly, it was from a live chat with my group, and I make this joke about writing a short story about an octopus man. There's this breed of octopus that has a detachable penis, right? And it swims off into the ocean. And I used to make a joke about writing a short story about male hyena and this wandering penis, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, someone suggested that Omegaverse was big and maybe I should try it. And I'm like, well, you know what? If I'm going to try it, may as well just go completely
All in.
all in.
Yeah.
Just throw everything at it. But I did plan for Manix to be a standalone. I was just going to do it. I was going to do one Omegaverse, keep it completely separate, but it just never works like that. It never
No,
works like
because
that.
it definitely took off, and yeah, it's no looking back now. I don't think your fan
No.
base would let you look back from that.
No. Like I was very firm about it. It was going to be a standalone, and I wasn't going to write another one. That was it. I had a plan. I had, a 2-year whip list of things I had to write, and Mannix just blew it fair out of the water. So
Yeah.
there's a
There
song
was
called "Detachable Penis." I have heard that song. I've played it for many a person. I'm still kind of warped from that song. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that song, Bronwyn. Yes, I it's showing my age, but yes, in my teenage years, I
Me
do
too.
remember playing that song as a
So
give it to
weird.
the man sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm curious.
We'll put it
Good
on the
luck, you
group
never be the same.
afterwards.
Okay, maybe not live react my reactions. So
Oh.
I'm gonna check it afterwards.
We learned that after chapter 8, did we? No more
Oh,
live
yes,
reacts. But yeah, no, that's yeah, definitely as I said, a great eye-opening experience for me. I've definitely loved the experience of reading Manix and then Frenzy after that, which, even though they're both set in the same world, they're two totally different books in terms of the feeling of them.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
A totally different feeling in terms of the books. Frenzy was more of a how can I put it, more heartwarming sort of
Oh.
story. I really loved how Dominic looked after Price, and how Bonnie and Radic were together at the start, and they wouldn't leave each other. So yeah.
I think in most of my books, I try and push the idea of like it gets me in trouble a little bit with readers, but I try and push the idea of it's not just smart and it's not just building a relationship, but the idea of building a family, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So as much as I enjoy the smart as much as the next person, but I really want that sense of love, and it just doesn't stop because there's a pretty hot alpha and that kind of thing. It's just
I think it goes beyond that.
It's organic.
It goes beyond that because you are building a new world where anything can happen, and you open a door and then Narnia is there, and you have all these possibilities. And I actually saw your message. You just replied to a comment where you said how your books are connected, and I'm gonna go back and see and try and start, because I've read. I was looking. I read 8 Seconds to Fly because I was into reverse harem standalones in that period, and I was checking everything. So that's how I found you, and it was a great book. I think, Kat, you read it.
I haven't read it yet. No, it's I know you told me to read it, and it's on my list. I've got to find the time.
Yes.
I am just so time poor, and I had like 2 days at the end of this month, and have gone. So
it's funny because it's harder to sell a cowboy reverse harem to my readers than it was to sell Mpreg. I'm like, so in this book, she's a bull rider, and it's kind of cowboy, and everyone's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, in this book, the male gets pregnant, and they're like, well, okay, let's totally can't predict. I really can't. But 8 Seconds is still my favorite book. So
yeah. It is really funny what takes off in the book community. In that some things that you think are a really great book and will be like picked up, they sort of sit on the shelves, and then others, in terms of a concept, that you sort of think, oh, and they just sort of rocket up the charts, and you're sort of going, wow. So, actually, what was your last 5-star read?
So I'm on a break. So I when I release a book, I give myself a week off, and then I start again on the next one. And I just read Savage Bonds by Jay Bree, and I'm not sure I'm okay.
I'm with you. I finished it last night. Oh my god!
I'm like, no. Can I message her and say why? No, it was really good. It was really good.
I entered her spoilers group last night, and I tried reading some of the comments, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I want to comment, but then I want to keep to myself. And then it was so. Last time I've read Broken Bones, I had a week that I couldn't read anything just to get out of that word, and now I'm back. So
I know. She's wonderful, and she's such a nice person, Jay Bree. She's just the loveliest person. So it's been wildly successful, and I'm so happy for her, and she deserves every bit of it. So.
Yeah, we did have to hear Camie talking about how at midnight book hadn't hit Kindle yet, and so she was very sad.
No,
and so I don't know what time it hit your Kindle.
I stayed until 4 p.m. So it said it's going to be live on at 12 a.m. and I stayed until 4, and then I had to go to bed. And I remember I woke up at 8. I just checked my Amazon. It was still on pre-order, and I then went back to bed and woke up 1 hour later and the book was on. And I stayed all day reading it. I didn't do anything. I even got into a fight with my husband because he didn't leave me alone. So that was my day yesterday. Yes. So
totally understand it.
Yeah, no, because Jay Bree was one of our authors this month, and so, that was, Broken Bonds was our book, but obviously, Savage Bonds was a lot of people were waiting for that one as well.
Yeah.
So, no, I haven't gotten to. Normally, I've got the rule that I don't start a series till it's finished because cliffhangers kill me. So yes, and looking at Camie, you see exactly why I don't do that.
I have to, if I read a series and it's, I have to go back and start at the beginning every single time because I just don't remember. But it's not a hardship with Jay Bree. It's just she's so good.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Grace, what's the biggest highlight of your author journey so far?
Oh, that's a tough one. Babe 2020, I think, was pretty. Did you guys go? It was pretty.
I did.
It was insane. It was an absolutely insane day, and what Tate and Jamin managed was just mind blowing. I just loved it, and it's nice because being an author is a pretty not lonely because I have so many. I've met so many people through the whole industry, but it's kind of like a solitary job. So actually being out there and signing books and meeting people and putting, names to faces, and it's really nice. It's lovely. So that was probably the highlight. I started out not writing reverse harem. I started out as a normal MF urban fantasy writer, and so Grace is a synonym. So I released the first ever Hell's Redemption part back in 2017, and I did it under a pseudonym, so if it sunk, no one would ever know, and it took off because it wasn't much around back then, and that was probably the biggest moment of this is an actual thing. I could actually do this and be an author, and people actually want to read what I write, and so that was pretty nice too, I think.
Yeah, no, because you're right. Babe 2020 was amazing. The atmosphere there was just phenomenal. I just, as you walked in, the light up trees and the unicorn and it was just
beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So beautiful. Yeah, I agree completely, and I just cannot wait until Babe 23 because not only do we get to meet everyone in the group, but it's just going to be and obviously all the authors as well, but
of course.
but no, it's just the atmosphere there. I've just never Yeah, it was also my first book convention, and so to
you
have
dive
that,
straight in the deep end.
yeah, I'm kind of don't necessarily want to go to another one because I don't think that there's going to be another one like it. So
They're definitely not all like that. Not even close.
Yeah.
It's magical.
I'm
And Babe 23 is twice the size, isn't it? It's like it's got twice the amount of authors.
It
I still have
is.
my, hang on. I still have my wine glass too. There it is.
Yeah,
So
I do too.
I think it's still got gin in the bottom of it.
I normally drink out of mine for nights like this, but I don't have mine tonight. I'm being good tonight, so no wine for me. But yeah, so sorry, I just losing track completely. So yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. So excited for Babe. I agree, Alana. So yeah, no, it will be a great time, and cannot wait. So
I'm so grateful for this group because I come from Eastern Europe, so it's quite far away, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be alone. But now with this group, you have your people. It's like you have friends. You're not alone.
It'll be
So
lovely.
yeah, it will be my first babe as well. So I'm excited.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
The only problem is because I'm signing, I don't get to go and get all my books signed. I'm like, can I take someone and just give them my books and all my money?
We can
and just go
we
and get
can
them.
help.
Yeah.
We can help.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be lovely. It's the only thing I regret about Babe 2020 is that I didn't get to go and see anyone. Well, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, I was just signing flat out, which surprised me like nothing else because, like a lot of people, I didn't think anyone would know who I was. So I'm like, I have plenty of time. I'll just go and do it myself. I'll duck out, get people to sign things, but it didn't work like that.
No.
Yeah. That's the thing. I found all the authors were just so nice. They just chatted to everyone. It was just everyone was just so relaxed. It was just such a great vibe. I just even authors I hadn't read before, I just chatted with. It was just insane. As I said, I loved it. Yeah, that's why I didn't volunteer, Alana. I know that sounds terrible, but yeah, I didn't volunteer because I want to enjoy it. Yeah, whoops. Okay, next question, Grace. If you had to choose one guy from each of your harems from Manix and Frenzy, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's so tough. Because I'm not meant to have favorites. I love them all, of course. But it's tough. Dominic, obviously. He was just my favorite. And sometimes you can tell which characters are my favorites because they just get a little more screen time, and I write them with just a little bit more love. 7, I think. 7 and Dominic. I don't know how well they play together, but you know.
Yeah, that's you know what? I didn't think I'd like Dominic. From the start of the book, I was a bit like, oh, I liked Cortland from the very start, but Dominic, I was a bit like, oh, he's going to run off everyone else. Like, I thought he'd be very territorial. But, no, he was just so caring of everyone. I'm just like, oh, he's my favorite.
He's very sweet. In Dark River, the Newly Undead in Dark River, I by the second book, I had a bad guy. And he was so damaged, and he was Lucius, for anyone who's actually read Dark River Days. And he's so damaged, and he's just completely psycho. He's an absolute nut job, and everyone hated him by the end of the second book. And I'm like, should I keep him or should, I kill him off? And everyone's like, kill him off. And then I made it my goal to make you love him by the end of book 3.
I love that.
And now I get so many comments about Lucius and how wonderful he is. That is,
I think that shows how good of an author you can be to just make us hate somebody but then love it and just a roller coaster. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, the redemption arc is so nice. I agree. It is. It's lovely. The whole you're a bad guy, but you're not a bad guy sort of thing.
But we love. Wait. We love bad guys. It's not like. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I know you've got book 3 coming out.
I do.
In that series. Do we have a date set to that soon, or?
So I always try and set the dates a fair way out. So if I don't know, I get hit by a bus and have to recover in traction, or my fingers fall off or something, I have a bit of extra time. So it's set for February 11th, I think.
Ooh.
But I'll probably end up bringing it forward a little bit. I'm giving myself a break from the paranormal romance and writing a contemporary romance, which I do once a year, like I did for 8 Seconds to Fly. Sometimes I just like to, I don't know, step out of the massive combined world that I've sunken myself into and just write something else. So, but yes. So February 11th for Feral.
Yeah.
And then that's book 3. And then I will write a book 4 as well. That's definitely on the cards.
I'm assuming that's Merrick and Murray?
Or
I'm crossing my fingers.
And,
I'm Murphy, yes.
Susanna. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes, managed to end up in Amiga somehow, somewhere.
Don't know how.
Who knows?
and Wilkie is not a bad guy that I'm going to redeem. I'm definitely going to kill him. So at some point, in some kind of brutal, terrible way, he's going to have to die.
Yes. He does have to. Yes,
he's awful.
Don't,
just awful.
Yes, he is. So I think that everyone will have to agree with you with that, and he does have to die. So, but we in the book club have absolutely loved Manix, and I know anyone that has read Frenzy has loved Frenzy, and it has totally opened our eyes up to a totally different genre. And I know for me that has been the best thing about this book club, apart from meeting wonderful ladies and gents, and that has been sort of opening my eyes up to different genres of romance and reading sort of different types of books, which has been I always thought I read quite widely within the romance genre, and I realise I haven't. There's still sort of little nooks and crannies that books are hiding in that has been great.
How can you keep them up? How do you know which did what in all these Easter eggs? I mean, how do you?
That's it. I'm basically a basket case. Is the general consensus, but it's. I guess because the character, the whole universe is kind of like inside my head. It's a real universe, and so sometimes it just seems logical that if they needed one thing, then it's going to be these people who's provided. So Miranda, the witch Miranda, turns up in so many of them as an Easter egg. She doesn't even have her own book. But she was antagonist in Dark River Days, and she was the savior in Manix. She went and saved her, and so she's in all these different books in different capacities, and it just makes sense for me to if you had a problem, this is where you get your solution from. But I've really written myself into write down Alice's rabbit hole. So I'm gonna have to get a whiteboard and lots of red string and try and work out in the timeline and what time, when was it there, and why were they doing there? And it's just, I don't know. I'm obviously insane. It's just
that was going to be my next question. Are you a planner in that? Have you got a folder with all of your different character stuff? Because I know I saw I think it was Kay Osborne with all of her different series and the characters and how they interact. And I went, wow, I'm a type A. I'm sort of the one that keeps us on track and organised. I was talking to the girls about it tonight. And I could see that being me. And
Yes,
if I
no.
actually had the creativity to write something. And I wondered whether... No, you're a pantser?
Massive pantser. Like, wildly a massive, to the point of it's to my detriment. But I'm one of those people that if I know what happens in the end, I lose interest in writing it, if you know what I mean. So I can't like in Frenzy, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like halfway through the book, I still didn't know how it was going to end. It has to unfold for me as much as it does for anyone else. Dark River Days, the first in Newly Undead and Dark River, I didn't even know who killed her until who was her maker until the middle of the book, and I'm just like, there's got to be a better way. But I did try planning, and it's just, if I know how it ends, I lose my passion for the project, I guess.
And the surprise element, yeah,
that's right. And I feel like it adds a bit to the feel of the novel. If it's kind of, if you don't know what's happening next, because I don't know what is happening next, it adds to the tension. That's what I tell myself to make myself feel better about the fact that I'm wildly disorganized. But there is people who keep me on track and who make me write down lists of names, because after 24 reverse harem novels, there are so many names, and I just reuse the same ones over and over again. So they keep me on track. They keep track of timelines and who's where and who's related to whom and that kind of thing. But who wants a spin-off novel? That kind of stuff. I'm a shocker for writing good secondary characters who people want to know about. That's how Manix came about in its own way. Naya, who was the main character in Manix, is a nameless character basically in Sweethearts and Savages from the Eden Academy, and she gets picked up at the very end chapter, and I'm writing it and thinking, I wonder who she is, and that's how it all happens. It's not. I like to pretend it's magical, but it's not. It's just wildly disorganized.
Yeah.
There is Manix fan art. I don't think I have any on me, but there's some Manix fan art. It's hard to create. I created them as a supernatural character completely out of nowhere. I tried to make them as indestructible and as apex predator as I could. So I pulled little bits and pieces from everywhere, and when I try and explain it to artists, they just go, so they've got fluffy ears, and I'm like, yeah, and armadillo scales, pangolin scales actually, and they're like, I can't draw that. It's in my head. I hope it's in everyone else's head too, because it's so hard to put on paper.
Yeah. I love, and this isn't a huge spoiler, I love how in Frenzy, Dom called out Cortland on his fluffy ears. I thought that was just brilliant. I laughed out loud at that. That was good.
The ears ridiculous. But they're hyena ears. They're actually like wild dog ears, which are kind of round and kind of fluffy shaped. That on a giant Manix, it just looks like Mickey Mouse ears. So it's hard. I needed a whole new form of supernatural, so I just made it up.
Yeah, no, which is good. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. Normally it is a case of everyone goes with the wolf shifter or whatever. It's just
the basics.
Paranormal. So to read something completely new was great. So Okay, Bronwyn asks, who are you looking forward to seeing at Babe?
Amelia Hutchins. Is she still going?
Yeah, no one's pulled out yet. Oh no, 2 have, but she's still going.
Oh, so. I was a massive fangirl of her face series ages ago, and I'm not sure I can contain myself. So I'm kind of glad that I'm a table, and I don't have to go and fangirl. So that I'm really excited. But there's lots of them. Oh, Catherine Moon. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I definitely fangirl if it's Catherine Moon. I'm not sure. I think I might cry. No, I'm not going to cry at that. No, I love Catherine. She's just the nicest, most sweet person. That yes, I'm really excited to see her too. There's so many. I want to see.
Yeah, there's 164 authors. I mean, it's absolutely massive. So
I don't know how you guys are going to get around to everyone.
I don't know. I'm hoping for VIP tickets because it'll make it easier because you'll have a night and a day. But everyone's hoping
Cat, you
for
can
it,
make us a schedule.
Yes, I will make a schedule.
The best possible route to go. Yeah.
Everybody has 10 authors and taking autographs from them all. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's so, and it's not just getting signed books, which is awesome. I love signed books, but actually like meeting people and watching them sign your name. I don't know. It's a bit fun. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the experience. So.
Oh god, yeah, I know it is weird, and we all do. It's so awkward when you have to when you're in takeovers and stuff with bigger authors, and the whole time you're like, no, be cool, be professional. This is your job. You cannot fangirl as much as you want to, but
I usually smile too much. Even now, I'm trying to contain myself because I just I want to be like this. And I try to be cool, just whatever, but no.
No, it's never how it goes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take you up on that end. Someone just I'll play it cool. It's gonna be fine. It's fine. It's not weird. It's not weird.
Yeah. I figure there'll be lots of other people fangirling on the day. We'll just sort of blend in. So
that's right.
But,
of course.
Yeah. No. It's also all the costumes. All the costumes were just phenomenal. So
it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what they do for the theme this time, because the fantasy theme was just amazing. So a darker theme is going to be very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm already looking at costumes. So
but is it so it's a ball gown, but with a theme? It's not that.
I think, yeah, basically. So last time it was I can't even remember what it was last time. Anyone, Cat, remember? It's so long ago.
Well, see, that's the thing. I wouldn't even say half. Maybe a third of people dressed up in ball gowns, and everyone else. And I must admit, I was one of them where surely people aren't going to dress up in ball gowns. But they did. They rocked up to the middle of Sydney in ball gowns.
So hot. It was so hot. And some of those people in those gowns, I'm like, how are you not dying? How are you
it was like the middle of summer, and that's the thing, this is at least in the middle of winter, and so it'll be so much better. But it was, and it was like one of the hottest weekends we'd had in Sydney so far that summer, and it was right before COVID hit. It was incredible. And these people were coming in these massive ball gowns, and
like big hoop skirts.
How
do you fit down the aisles?
Yes, two people couldn't fit down the aisles together. That's right, and with trolleys. And I'm just like,
the trolleys. Like my first book signing, the people with trolleys, it blew my mind. I'm like, these people are professionals. They are professional book signing convention people, because they had trolleys or suitcases, and I'm just like,
I love the ones that got their husbands to just carry things. And they had one. That's brilliant. That's another level. So
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's COVID or post-COVID. I don't know whether we can hug, Lana. So we'll have to see.
Imagine us staying in quarantine together. Just binge reading and getting drunk all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, you are binge.
it is. That's right. It is funny, and most of the time, authors are fangirling about people fangirling, but on the inside, you're like, no, you got a persona, you got to be cool. But on the inside, you're like, someone likes me enough to let me sign their book. So we fangirl back.
Yeah.
We just do it on the down low.
Yeah. I know that I've seen a meme about that, and it's like the fan, like the reader fangirling, and then the author fangirling, and then they go away and fangirl separately. And I'm thinking, it would be really awesome to have people reading your stuff. So
it is. And like when I sign books, because it takes a while to sign a book, you talk. And one of my questions I always ask is, who do you want to see? Who's your unicorn author that you want to see today? And one girl said me, and I swear to God, I almost burst into tears. I was like 3 gins in, it was so hot, and I'm just like, that's lovely. It's terrible.
No, it's not. I think that makes you want to. The book community is lovely, honestly. It's what keeps me here. So, yes.
Oh, Bronwyn, your husband's so nice.
Okay. We have some really smart people here, honestly.
Yeah. We're going to have to devise a system.
Okay.
Yeah, we will come up with a plan. But Bronwyn, that's a good idea. I know mine won't do it, but that's a good idea. He's told me to book like a few days in the city with you girls, and so I know I'm doing that, but beyond that, I don't know what I'm doing. We'll work it out. But anyway, I think we probably should move on to some books. That's kind of why we're here. Does that kind of sound like a plan, guys? Alana, yes, tacking on a foldable trolley. Just the one that you tow the kids around to the beach in. That sort. Okay, moving on to books. Okay, we've discussed Manix. Good job, guys. We've done one. Cavalier by T.L. Smith. Okay, that's me. Okay. I really liked it. It's a dark romance set in a sex club, and that's not why I liked it.
Really?
She's actually a bartender in the sex club. It's centered around 4 guys. It's a first book in a 4-part series. These 4 young guys, they have set up this sex club, and so this book's about Craig Christopher. He's the typical tall, dark and handsome broody with issues, and Alicia, she serves him at a bar that she's currently working at, and she something happens at that bar and she resigns or is fired. No, she resigns before she is fired, and as she leaves, he approaches her and offers her a job, and so she turns up at his dark warehouse, as you do, and you can see where this is going, and anyway, so
that's why you liked it.
Yeah. So and she takes the job. So she's working there, and they, of course, in turn get together and all of so on and so forth. Of course, there's complications and all of that. As I said, I really liked it. She's an incredibly strong character. Doesn't take his crap, makes him work for it, as opposed to falling for all of his broody, oh, you're so all dark and handsome. I like that. I liked him. He had that softer side to his tall, dark and broodiness with his mum, which I like in those characters having that sort of light and shade to them. I liked his friends. They've got a lot of potential. You can see where the T.L. Smith is going with her, with these characters in the future. There's a lot of redemption arcs that are going to have to happen with these boys. A lot of redeeming. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of their series. And so they're all released already. So you're not going to have to wait for those. They are all standalone, so you can read them by themselves, but I do recommend reading them in order.
Or starting with
Cavalier.
Yeah.
So I had read T.L. Smith before, some of her other work, and really liked her stuff. So this was that little bit different. Her other stuff I'd read was a lot darker. This was that little bit more playful, which I kind of liked. I liked that vibe. So I definitely recommend reading this one if you're looking for a bit of smut, but not
without
anything
the plot.
too heavy. Oh no, definitely a plot, but nothing too heavy. Which is the next book I'm going to go into, which is Kennedy by Addison Jane, which I'd also recommend. It's a dark motorcycle romance, which I know is normally Camie's jam, but I'm going to review that one. We've got 2 motorcycle romances this month. So
I
we're
picked
actually,
the second one.
Yeah, we're actually both going to review one. And so that's going to be a little bit different this month. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with comments and I can't do everything at once. My brain doesn't work like that. So yeah, we're both going to review a motorcycle romance. So I got Kennedy. So it's a dark motorcycle romance. I actually really enjoyed this one, but it's definitely got a darker side to it. There's her, and she's 23 from memory, and her younger sister, and she has been left to pay off her father's debts to a motorcycle club. He did a runner, and so she's using her body to pay it off. So she's being forced to both strip and do more to pay back her father's debts. So she's got 5 years to pay them back. So as you can see, this one is quite a bit darker than Cavalier. So that is until another motorcycle club comes on the scene, and there's a bit of battle, and a motorcycle member of that club named Repo decides to repossess her. So
such nice words.
Yes. But he's actually the good guy. So what do you know about that? He is actually the good guy. He's got a really tragic backstory, which if you've got any triggers, be incredibly aware of this book. And that's not necessarily from Kennedy's perspective. So I just be really aware of that. As I said, I liked this book. Kennedy's strength was amazing. So was Repo's. I really liked their chemistry together. I liked how they worked to overcome I don't want to call it baggage, because what they
background,
had to
maybe
overcome. Background, because it wasn't of their own doing.
No.
So I liked how they were to overcome it, to be intimate with each other. That they were to overcome it. so I liked that. And there were lots of cameos from other characters from her series, like from her previous series. So if you're a Addison Jane fan, then I'm sure that you'll really like this one. I'm sure you'll really like this one because you'll see that they'll pop up in this book. So definitely give this one a go if you're interested in any Addison Jane. But yeah, so that's Kennedy for you. Now we are going to swing over to Hannaford Prep and Jay Bree, and our Jay Bree lover Camie is going to take over. And
okay, first I'm gonna act cool because I feel that I'm more excited than I should be. So I don't want to say, I'm just a big fan, let's say, and that's cool. So I found out about Hannah. I didn't read anything, so I'm going to be all over the place here. I found out Hannaford Ford when it were only 3 books out, and the 4th one was just coming out, so it's pretty safe. And then I had to spend like a week between book 3 and 4, and then people are really lucky because they can read the whole series and actually the spin-off and everything. So good for you. I'm so excited. I had to cry over it. And the thing is, it's such a great series. And when we picked Jay Bree for this month, we were thinking that we don't want people to miss it. And we know some people have problems with picking books that are not series that are not finished. So that was the thinking before picking both of them. And since we do the reviews and I have read Hannaford, it was easier for me to just pick Broken Bones. The thing is, during this month, Kat asked me to do the TikTok for Broken Bones, and I had to read it before the second book came out. So she did me good. So you can see why I'm excited, because I had the pain of waiting for the next book is real on Jay Bree. So yeah. So Hannaford is about a girl that she gets bullied in the first book, and then you see how strong she is outside of that academy world, let's say. And then it takes a turn and you actually see the power of her and how their group comes together, and that word is something that I want to be her people. So for me, it's I lived that series. I don't want to be too spoilery about it. It's worth it. So then go and read Broken Bones after you finish everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in. I agree. Hannaford Prep, I finished 5 books in 2 days. I absolutely devoured that series. I loved it. So I totally agree. It was just amazing.
It's Hannaford Prep. Then it's the Butcher story. Then it's Angel and Scene, that it's also built in their world. It's like with the, I don't want to be too spoilery, but it has to do something with lips. So it's another word, it's another book, it's different, it's a standalone, but it has to be in their story. And then you have Avery's books, the 3 ones.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but it's great.
I agree. It was a great series. It's fast paced, full of action, wrong side of the tracks, but starts with a bang, finishes with a bang. Just wow. But anyway, go on. I know you wanted to talk about Broken Bonds. I will change the banner.
Okay, so yeah, I told you what happened with Broken Bones and how I had to wait for the next book. We have 3 months until the third one. I'm not sure if it's going to be the last one. We don't know.
I think it's a 6-book series.
Oh no. Really?
That's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. I don't know if I'm wrong. I might be, but I'm
I
fairly
mean,
sure it's 6 books.
oh my God, I love it. I think it has a long way to go. But I've started it, so I have to read every single one, and then oh my God,
You won't be able to just ignore it now. You'll have to read everyone as it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can. Okay. So Broken Bones is the story of Ollie, that she is the central bond to 5 other guys. She's on the run because she is being chased by somebody really, really, really bad, which we find out at the end of book 2 about it. Just a bit of the cliffhanger, let's say. And they find her, and then they keep her with them, and she what? Yeah, but you're gonna have to listen to me when I just wait before it was live and then afterwards. Oh, 6 books. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. I would say wait until the end of book 6, honestly. So I think that if you want my honest review, that's it. Wait for it, because yeah, if you wanna struggle with me, then I'm gonna start a group, a chat, and we can a support group. Yeah. So yeah. So this is me on Broken Bones. It's the start of a new world, and I cannot wait to see how it goes, because I know Jibri will give you things that you don't think you need, or you think they will go that direction, and she will just, I don't know, drop you and then pick you up. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I know that the end of the Hannaford prep books were bad enough in that she'd leave just a cliffhanger, and I knew that I had the next book, but I'd still message Camie and go, she left it on that. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I know I should be going to sleep, but she left it on that. And so I've got to keep reading, but it's 3 a.m. and I've got to hop up. So, yes, yeah. We will support you, Camie, don't worry. And
Okay,
and
I
like,
have
no,
people with the what did she call it? The Broken Bones Broke Me chat. So that we have that. Okay? So yeah.
so obviously it's necessary.
That means you have to read it. You know that, right?
No, you know my rule. My
No,
rule
no,
is
no, no,
this.
no. You need to. It's okay. We can say cat. The broken bonds broke me, and we broke cat.
We'll see. We will see.
Nah, we
There you
will
go.
do it.
Ange has offered to read it with you. Oh dear. Anyway, we will see. I am not committing to anything, but we will see if I yes get strong armed into something like that.
It's easier to laugh at me when you don't know the struggle.
No, the pain. It's bad enough in like, see, the only time I get dragged into reading cliffhanger books is in these book clubs, and then I'm in pain. Like I did Lana book club where I'm reading The Savage Lands, and that was only meant to be 5 books, and book 4 was coming out in like 4 days, and then Stacey Marie Brown comes out with that there's meant to be 6 books, and I'm like, what's this? So I'm dying there as well. So
We had the same with Britt Andrews when we found out it's not the
yes,
end.
I know, but I've read the final book. I got an arc for that, so I have read the final book, and that is as awesome as you would expect. There is a trigger warning, so be aware on that one. But it is as fantastic as you'd expect, and it is just all the feels. I loved it, and I still love Farris. Oh, he is just awesome, and he does some really bizarre shit. So yeah, no, loved it. Even better than the mac and cheese. So
Yeah.
anyway. Oh, there you go. Oh.
It's nice to play the victim, right?
Oh, dear. Okay, moving on to Wolf Kids by Heather Renee. That's me again. This is another one that was on a cliffy until this month. Final book came out on 24th from memory. I read the first book. I read halfway through the second. Oh no, I'm running out of battery. Why do I do this to myself? So I've read the first book and a half. I'm changing over here. Okay, so this is a Fated Mates wolf shifter, but it's kind of got a new take on the rejected mates sort of trope that's going around at the moment. So it's fun, fast-paced. It's a new adult sort of feel. Not feel. It is a young adult, new adult. Wow, can you tell I need sleep? Romance. So it's that little bit more not as smutty, I guess would be the word I'm going to go with here. So if you want some romancy times, I don't think you get anything in book 1. So if you're going to be reading and waiting for it, you're not going to get it. That being said, it's still a good book. So characters are relatable. And even better, main character's name is Kate, C-A-I-T. So there you go. I love it. It's a bit of a personality issue, but there you go. So she is living it up in Sydney, and she gets a lunar mark on her wrist of a moon, and she's just swimming in the ocean, and it happens, and it's like, wow. And then she has this big guy just come up to her and go, "Who's your alpha?" And it's a bit of she's going, "What?" And
you, Daddy.
Well, she didn't know about wolves, or like about shifters, and so she was a bit like, rack off. And so, as you would, and then her best friend, who she chats to online about books, like, she tells about it, and she's like, "You need to come to me, like, I'm going to send you plane tickets." She goes, "Well, okay." So she travels across the yeah. So she travels across the world to see her, and it turns out that the guy from the beach is actually the alpha of the tribe that she of the pack that she travels to. So it and he's the mate for her, like the fated mate. So, and it goes from
Have
there.
you finished the series by any
I
chance?
haven't finished the series because I got sidetracked.
I will. The thing is, you don't find out in book 1 what being Luna marked means. So that's why I was curious about it, because I didn't finish as well.
Okay, you don't, but you do find out in between the beginning and halfway through the second book, which is where I'm at. Because,
okay.
okay, with my thing about cliffhangers, I knew that book 2 would end on a cliffhanger, and book 3 hadn't been released yet. And so what I did was I read to a point that I was happy finishing at in book 2 and stopped. And I know that I'll resume again and keep reading. So yeah, I know I'm a nut. So
That's dedicated. That is dedicated to a dedicated anti-cliffhanger approach. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put safe zones in my books now. So this is the safe zone. Don't stop here if you don't want to be cliffhangered. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It should be a pop-up in your Kindle. Are you sure you want to go?
Yeah, like Netflix. Do you want to stop here? Have you stopped?
You spent 10 hours. Are you sure you're still here?
Yeah.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me. That's how it usually goes with me.
So, yeah. So yes, I do know what Luna marked means by this point. So don't judge me, Lana. So it's definitely shaping up to be a good series. It does end on a cliffhanger on the end of book 1. They're getting the two main characters are really. I liked the way it was written. I really liked Heather Renee's writing style. I thought it was really engaging, drew the reader in, very dynamic. It's part of it's part of a larger series, but you don't have to read the other trilogy before you read this one. So yeah, that's Luna marked for me. Yeah. And yes, Bronwyn, like an adult, choose your own adventure, but that's where you pause. I agree.
And don't cry afterwards. You're an adult, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what they tell me. Talking about crying, When Our Worlds Collide by Lindsay Ilya. Yes. Talking about crying, oh my gosh, I'm a book crier, as you may or may not know. I think I've mentioned it. I cry with this one. I read this back in 2016, this whole series, and when it popped up, I was so excited to be able to share this with everyone because I love this series. I went on, like when I first read it, I went on a real binge of the young adult, new adult, like sports romance sort of vibe, and so I came across this, and it is that, but it's so much more as well. As I said, I absolutely adored it back then, 5-star rated it. Same thing again, I read all 3 books in a couple of days and then hid with tissues through the whole thing. It's a romance, but it covers quite a few sort of sensitive issues, so be aware of triggers. But it's also how the characters deal with those trigger issues that is so important. And I think that a lot of young adult romances need to be dealing with these issues. I mean, it's not, well, for someone my age, it's not necessarily so important, but particularly for younger readers, I think it's important that we're sending these messages. So I absolutely loved this book for that as well. It's set in Tennessee, and it tells the story of 2 high school juniors who were fated to cross paths and sort of what happens after that. Graham's this baseball playing girl's party boy, and she's a gifted dancer, academic focused, who reads at home sort of thing. And one night she's out walking, looking at the stars, and he drives home drunk, and he hits her with his car. and she is injured, but she tells him to go, to make the call from her phone and go, and it goes from there. So it deals with his guilt, it deals with the ramifications of that, and it deals with that. But there's other issues as well at the end of that book that I'm not going to discuss because it's a spoiler, but that, yeah, as I said, all the feels, it's just, I loved it. So I would highly recommend that book if you haven't read it. So yeah. So that's that book. So that's me done for the night. And we've got Explosive by K.E. Osborne.
Okay, so this is me. I like a lot of tropes. MC is one of them. I know 2 months ago that we had one author that had some MC series, and I was like, can we put it on the list, please? Because I want to read it. I wanted more diversity in the in our books. So explosive. Sorry. Okay, so while I have a notebook here, which I write some notes for what I need to say. And while writing my review, I had my music on, and Billie Eilish Bad Guy came in, and I was like, So that was my vibe when thinking of this book. We have Zero, that's his name, and he has a catch where when I don't know, bad things happen and he needs to focus, and he says like 3, 2, 1, 0. And I'm with him on that. And I had a week where everything I did was 3, 2, 1, 0. So yeah, left the cover, left a very good blurb. This book deals with a lot of real life circumstances, which they are a bit heavy, and it has 0 filters, let's say, which is a good thing. It's still an MC. I wouldn't say dark, honestly. I don't know how. It's not dark from my point of view. It isn't only an MC book. It's a story of brotherhood, family. It's a friendship that you can see how loyal they are, and I don't know, even sisterhood. I know we talked about girls having a sisterhood, and this book has it, which will be we will see more in book 2, which is Addict. There are 5 books so far out. The 6th one is coming next year, I think. I've checked it today. So yeah, it's a very dark themes but sweet, exactly. So it's safe to say that you can read it. It hasn't got any cliffhangers. It's 1 book per character. The second book deals with the VP and the sister of Zero, which I thought they were gonna be something, and then I double checked and saw that. So yeah,
how it ended, you're like, ah.
The thing is, you want them, and then you are very happy when they get picked, because side characters, and you don't know how it's gonna be. But
yeah.
So yeah, please bring more MC books because I like them. So yeah, this is me on Explosive.
Cool.
3, 2, 1, 0.
3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah. No, I liked that catchphrase. Though I kind of wanted to know where that came from. Like,
it's his name. That's his MC name.
Yeah, but do you ever wonder where they get their MC names from? Like, you know, where she, because that's the thing. I always assumed that she was a redhead and she was a blonde, and that totally blew my mind. And
I imagine my characters. I don't know why I do this. It's like I read she's a blonde, but in my head it doesn't register. I just picture it as a person and I go from there. So everybody's, yeah. I think I only pay attention if they are tall or small, as in height. That's it. So I can picture them better. But otherwise,
oh, it's more only because he kept on calling her cherry bomb, and I'm like, calling her cherry bomb. I don't know. Kay Osborne clarified it, and it's because of her personality that she's a bomb, and hence. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I get that, but yeah, to me, I sort of went, oh.
I was thinking that she has a great. So
yeah, see, that's the thing, Grace. I always wonder, as an author, you guys think something and then we run a totally different way with it as readers, and do you sit there and go, that's not what I meant.
What happened
here?
Where did you get
why
that
did
from?
Yeah.
No. Sometimes they find connections. I think that's not what I meant, but it works. Let's go with it. I always keep my characters. I get in trouble for it a lot. Character descriptions really basic because I want you to build your own character in your head. Some people that really annoys, and some people like Camie who just doesn't matter how descriptive I am. They're just going to build their own character anyway. So and honestly, I do it because I'm lazy and I can't keep track of everyone's eye colors and their hair colors and that kind of stuff. Some characters change their eye color 3 times before the end of the book, which is why I have continuity editors. But yeah, I keep it basic, just basically for me, because it's just I'm not organized enough to have character cards like some authors that have everything written out. But let's say it's because I want people to build their own characters in their own heads, I think.
I don't mind either way. It's like when I read the book, I'm in the book. I try to visualize everything. So that's how I feel it, honestly. And it helps because then, I don't know. Maybe the guy is ugly, but I see it beautiful. So so it's no problem.
Yeah. I love that, Bronwyn. That is so true. The things that we sort of go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like when we were talking about Edward in Twilight the other month, that he is so stalker, and yet he was held up as this just wonderful example of what we'd want in a boyfriend for so many years, and yet we go, that's kids, that's not what we want.
Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey. If he was poor, it would be a thriller novel and not a romance. It'd just be weird if he was poor and ugly.
I've never read that.
I did. I read it at work, if you can imagine.
Did you listen to it on audio?
No. I read it. So I was in a big office, an open space office, and I was in a corner and I had a view of everybody. And I was reading that book and I was like, this the whole time. I was lucky to have a big screen and I was like going. Yeah. So I spent a week reading them. During the day I was working. During the night I was leaving the books. So it was
it was an interesting time, was it?
I still remember it. The thing is, so
oh dear. But yes, it's
we had this Edward chat last month, and then I saw an author that had a pen name. I don't remember actually the author, and she was like Bella Jacobs, and we were like, it's a marketing strategy, because imagine how many people are Team Jacob, and they say, okay, I want to read you just because I want to start your book just because of your name. So that's
it's a clever marketing ploy. I know when Stephanie Meyer released the new Twilight one that came out,
Midnight Sun, I think.
Midnight Sun. like it bumped up all my vampire books. So like there was a whole new little wave of vampire novels that released at the same time because she has such a pull in the paranormal romance world. So it is a ploy, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, but we read it 10 years ago, let's say. I think just like that. So we had a different age. We had, I don't know, some people actually start with romance with that book. But then we grow up and we surpass that. But then the next generations comes and it's a whole new, I don't know, a whole new target.
Anything that gets people reading, that's what I found about Twilight way back when. People, my friends that wouldn't read, didn't like reading, hated reading, read Twilight because there was such a buzz about it. And then they loved reading, It converted a whole new wave. And I'm wildly profiting off those people now. So I can't be mad about it at all.
Nope. I've read Midnight Sun, actually, just because I know I loved Twilight when I was younger. And I know it was from Edward's point of view. But the thing is, I was expecting to be the whole books, but it was only the first one. So I was like, oh, I wanted the whole, I don't know, at least just major parts of the books, I was thinking. But I don't think I read the blurb to just check it. I just bought it and that's it.
Yeah.
We grow up and start reading Reverse Harem, MC, Dark Romance, and Blue Alien Teen.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yes, it also started the White Shoes wave.
Absolutely. That love triangle was a killer. It was insane.
I honestly don't like love triangles. I don't know why.
Well,
I think it's and other women drama.
It's not my thing either. Just ran out of batches.
So before my first Reverse Harem, I think a few months before I read Manix, and I was like, I didn't like it because I was thinking that men should be with women, that's it. And then I started the Course of the Gods by Jamie and Eve, and then I loved it, and I was like, I'm such a hypocrite because I didn't love Manix, but then I love Reverse Harem, so.
No. It's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yes, because we I don't know, go into the book world with maybe some ideas or what we want to read, but we need to try everything just to see if you like it or not.
I read that I'm sorry, wildly off track. That Morning Glory Milking one. Did you guys see that? It's been all over TikTok and that kind of thing. Yeah, someone will know. The Morning Glory.
Yeah,
it was everywhere. So I read it because you got to, and I was oddly surprised at how much I enjoyed it, considering I read it because it was literally about, jerking off minotaurs, and I thought you can't make that into a book. How is that a book? That it is, and it was quite good. So.
And even the cover, I think that's what makes you. It says, buy me now.
That's right. The power of a good title.
Yes. I was used to reading, I don't know, shifters where it's only wolves, maybe bears, but usually just shifters. And I read Raven Kennedy, Addie. She's a bird, and I was like, what is that? But I loved the book. I mean, it was so it's different, but I loved it. So
I was in the anthology that Addie was first in. Don't ask the name of it. Shifting Destiny. No, I can't remember the name of the anthology. So I read it way back when it was just a tiny little novella. It was so good.
It's a whole new book. Yes.
And now it's a whole big book. Yeah, a whole new world.
Yes, and she has a lot. She has a lot of them from her world. It's, I don't know, 3 or 4. I think 3.
So,
for sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
And yes, Bronwyn, that is a gaming chair. I've in my daughter's room. So that's her chair for school during lockdown. Yes, no, my computer lost power. So you were all talking like super slow.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think we should probably be wrapping it up and
We need to talk about the books for next month.
I know. That was going to be my next sentence. And
Sorry.
talk about what books we are reading next month, because we have some fantastic authors in line for next month. I am so excited. So looking at the polls, we have only one tie, and that's because Lana, you have voted twice. I know you're on here, so get your act together, go to your Bell Brooks poll and take away one of your votes. So the votes are in, and we are reading Wicked Rejection by Scarlet Snow, If the Broom Fits by Sinclair Kelly, Afterlife by Stephanie Hudson, can you pronounce that for me, Camie? I am just
Rhapsodic, I think.
Rhapsodic?
You ask me where English is my second language, honestly.
You know what? I haven't even had wine tonight.
Do you know why?
Normally I'm a couple of glasses in by this point, Grace.
Yeah, but just avoid me.
Yeah, I know. Rhapsodic, thank you, by Laura Thalassa, and Variant Lost by Cadence Snow.
Rhapsodic.
Okay. Ange says, there we go. Thank you. I will go with Ange in this. I will refresh the page and see whether
it's Rhapsodic, I think. Rhapsodic.
I will put the covers up so you know what books we are reading, but basically it's the only one that looks like that, so you still haven't got your act together. That's fine. You will work out what Bell Brooks book we are reading once I have put the covers up, but it's either that guy or the Mama Diaries. And yeah, so they are our books for next month, starting on, where are we?
29.
So starting Friday. Yeah, starting Friday. So yeah, that is us for the month. So thank you so much, Grace, for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure having you. Yeah, no, it has been absolutely great having you and talking Manix and Frenzy, which I absolutely yeah. As I said, blew my mind in a good way. Totally introduced me to a new genre of reading. Popped my MPreg bubble, and I'm not going back. So, and I tell you what, I know I saw in one of your lives, as you said, there's more chance of them getting MPreg in the world than there being wolf shifters, I think you said, and that is
yes,
true.
I remember.
So, yeah.
No, this book you have all the whole thing back, the whole shebang, the MPreg and the nodding and all that Omega verse stuff is all back in the next book. So.
Yeah, and I love the group of guys that you've got in the next book. They're a great little unit that we met in the first book, and we learnt more about them in the second book. And I love that in the first book we learnt about the two alphas, and in the second book we learnt more about the beta and the omega. And so we've sort of got, and I must admit, I kind of like that there's that bit of tension between them by the end of the second book. And so you kind of got that hook going in that you know that everything's not completely okay.
Yeah,
so you're like, oh, I can't wait. So yeah, I'm I'm super excited. So, Rhapsodic, thank you, Ange. And so yeah, I as I said, super excited, and
Yes.
I'm definitely going to look up your back catalogues when I've got some free days, which
No, that's
hopefully should
it's
be soon.
extensive. It's the whole rabbit hole. So have fun with that.
Oh, yeah. I saw that you posted a which order to read in, so I will.
I saved that post.
So,
I saved it.
You can read them in any order. I didn't actually decide to cross them all over until like I don't know the second book in Dark River. So you can read them in any order. It's fine. You're not going to miss much. But
yeah, no, that's fantastic.
No, we're gonna miss everything if we don't read it. So
thank you for having me. I've had a
thank
great
you
time.
for joining. Yeah.
Yes.
To-be read list has just doubled because I'm like, oh, now. But yeah, no, I had a good time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Grace, and thank you everyone for tuning in, or that will see us when they catch up. And yeah, so we will catch you again next month. Happy reading, and yeah, we will see you all later. See ya.
Yes. Bye.